Her sandals came apart, so she's barefoot.
Yes, it was the first time I had ever worn them, and it was a bottom slope.
We got one mic there. How's that? Is that better? Yeah. Yeah?
Is that comfy for you?
Yeah, that's fine. So it's great to see so many old friends. Thank you for coming up. I was not sure whether there would be very many people here, and it's just great to see you all. Thank you. So the first, these are, the poems in the book are in chronological order from the year that Katie was in utero in 1986. Yeah, is that right? 1988. I have 3 kids in the 80s, so yeah, she's in 88. And then they proceed through the recent years when she's had a couple of children of her own. And the first one is called Sweet Kate. Katie was an 11-pound, 4-ounce baby, so you'll understand that reference in the poem. I carry you before me like the planet Earth, bend under your weight, the blue map of your secret genes spreading over the white flesh of my belly like a net. Your fish knowledge in the first dark world, the story I am waiting to read. My veins swell to the surface, blue saltwater knots, your first scars on my life, so that I long to lay you down in the lap of a patient man, even, I think now, even if he should take you up like a bunch of flowers and lift it to his face, his startled lips, you should alter him, suffuse him with the knowledge of another woman, making him never wholly mine again. But it turns out love is not a zero-sum game. There's a lot of it. You can love lots of people at the same time. It didn't turn out to be a problem at all. This is called The Nothing after Sartre. A 3-year-old wanders to a corner. Does she climb into a car and disappear? My bare feet thump softly on the carpeted stair, pause before each closet, each hiding place, my breath loud in the silence. Her name pierces all the dusty corners. The children rush up and down the street calling. The neighbors assemble. Lifting the phone in the air too thin to breathe, it is clear that in the next few minutes I will fall. On one side, laughter over dinner, how silly it all turned out to be. On the other, an impenetrable blackness. Her sweatshirt is blue, yes, blue, with snowmen holding multicolored balloons. Her hair is blonde. The children race up for new assignments, rush off to check the corner, the meadow one more time. I am amazed at the difficulty of breathing. With my fist, I try to press my lungs and heart back into rhythm. The phone rings. An officer has your daughter at the corner of Derby and Telegraph. I fall. I feel the falling as small explosions in my eyes, everything watery, flowing and running, and all those police cars arriving, and she comes calmly saying, "Mommy, you were looking for me everywhere." And everyone is patting me, joking, smiling indulgently, because it was the thing, but not the thing. It was nothing. Nothing. I don't know how to do that. Anybody know how? Maybe if I just put my mouth right on the mic. Okay. All right. I'll do that. It's hard because it's like right on my mouth. Okay. This is called The Relay. Did you miss the first 2 poems? No. Okay. The Relay, for my mother, for my daughter. A good start was crucial. I waited until I caught the runner in my peripheral vision, heard her feet beating the ground behind me at the precise distance, began to uncurl and rise. I felt clumsy at first, disoriented, held my hand back open flat, fingers aligned, so I wouldn't bobble the baton. She powered up behind. I tuned every muscle to understand her emotion, her speed, her grip, her experienced pass. I fell in with her body's intent, kept my own stride. I gather speed, The baton slaps into my palm like scalpel to surgeon, and we are perfectly synchronized for one breath. Now she is dropping behind, slowly turning away, and I focus forward. Ignore her passing so she won't interfere with my rhythm. Pump my arms and legs, begin to ache, but I press on past burning hot breathing, push through to the moment when body is flowing outside conscious direction, when it works perfectly, heart, lungs, all rhythms informed by some sort of grace. I move into the patch of sun before the very center of the stands where all the invisible gods and mayors leap to their feet and the cheering's a distant roar in the heat at the back of my mind. And just as I almost break into flight, I spot the small runner waiting ahead, crouched in the distant shaded curve of track. I notice I'm clenching the smooth wood, feel the ache in my hand, the slippery sweat running, and I loosen my grip. Begin to consider the style and capacity of the runner uncurling now in the distance. Measure her awkward rise, her small cold legs. See her glance back and then begin to move forward swiftly, increasing as I pound toward her, trying to match my stride. I think, no, run it your own way. I'll throw you off. She feels my thought, lengthens out into her own stride as I cross the baton into my right hand without breaking my pace. Move with her, feel her desire. Extend, clap it firmly into her flattened palm, will it to be taken cleanly, feel it taken, stay with her 3 paces, pray, be fast, look forward, go. I slacken, run it out so the muscles don't cramp as I slow, veer off, come to a stop in the shade, the cool wind blowing across my wet skin as I watch her disappear. When Katie was 11, she was diagnosed with type 1 childhood diabetes, and so there are quite a few poems in the book about that section of her life. The conversation. On the plane to Cleveland, across the aisle, my daughter gives herself a shot, learning to perform this ritual in public places. The woman beside me tells me sympathetically about her friend whose 2 children both died of diabetes. Long, hopeless deaths of kidney failure, blindness, and amputated feet. I slide to the floor sobbing, my hands to my face, my heart leaping against my ribs. Or no, I turn and slap her hard. Her face registers honest amazement. Her eyes fill with tears. Well, no. I look to make sure my daughter didn't hear. I excuse myself politely, walk back to the restroom. I stand there a long time, shaking. I think people do that because it's the only thing they have in common with what you've just told them, and they don't think through how that might impact you if they say that. I think I'll skip the rest of the diabetes poems. You get the gist of that. This one's called You Mean. Oh, wait, you didn't want me to skip that one, did you? I'm sorry. Someone whose child has diabetes, newly diagnosed, asked me to read this one, so I will. Things you never thought you could do. Say you went to the refrigerator in your socks and found, beside the yellow bowl of lime jello and bananas, 2 small vials of insulin, Humalog for the fever of sandwiches and cake, and Ultralente for the long nights. Say you went to wake your daughter, the one with dreamy doe eyes, who drifts into and out of days on an aimless excursion, taken up by the beauty of every leaf, and who has yet to fasten her silver spirit to a forward-moving engine. Say you found her on the bathroom floor half naked, wedged between the tub and toilet, her long arms twitching with small animal noises bubbling from her mouth. Would you weep? Would you step back in shock and look away, wait for someone who knew what to do to appear? An EMT, a specialist, your mother? No, you would not. You would step forward and pull her up into your arms. You would send one of the children for her blue denim bag from the kitchen counter, rub the tube of glucose gel into her gums. In a loud, firm voice, you would tell her, swallow, swallow, and you would not relent. If she lay heavily against your breast, her teeth locked against your fingers, you would lay her easily on the white bath mat and turn to the cloth bag for the long red case, the emergency syringe you have studied but never used. Standing at the mirror, you would fill the syringe with glucagon, your freckled hands shaking hard out over the sink. You would turn back to her long flank, brown with summer swimming, kneel down and slide the needle quick before you could think into the muscle, ease the plunger down. Then you would sit down on the floor, pull her into your lap and wait. Waiting, would you croon her name, rock her, sing her baby songs, caress the lank hair back from her empty face. And later, after her lost-looking eyes, the mysteries of the words chew, cracker, table, the nausea, vomiting, the stepping into the shower beside her to help her remember how to wash her hair. Would you sit in the front seat of your best friend's car, clutch your bottled water, and sob? Say, after slipping into her room every night to stick her fingers, check her blood sugar, you lay awake for hours refiguring her carb to insulin ratios. In the mornings, watching her laugh, would you recalculate the value of every hour? Bad times. They have insulin pumps now and CMGs and all these kind of computer-oriented stuff that you don't have to do all that anymore. You don't have to stick your finger all the time. You don't have to do all that math. It was so much math. And she was 11, but she was good at math. This poem is called You Mean. Working this shiny skeins of hair into smooth golden braids down to her waist, I ask companionably whether the tooth fairy brought anything interesting last night. In a flat voice, she says, You mean. And then we are caught up in the storm of school-bound forces as she rushes out to feed the cats, and the others swarm in to fill the void, and the Susan B. Anthony dollar shines in its own secret mystery under her pink flannel pillow. All day the dollar shines behind my eyes, the magic of it, the pink glittered wings of the fairy who slipped it in by night, made off with her second molar in a purple velvet bag. At the end of yoga class, we lie flat in the dark, Shavasana. The teacher says, experience the joy of all you have. And the fairy flits across the dark bank of the moonlit river of my heart on her way to another, younger child. The Hole in the House. This is end of high school. Already shadows lengthen in the corners of the house where you tend to settle. The window seat you sleep in when the other girls are here. The table in the corner covered in papers, wadded dance clothes, wrinkled lunch bags. The space you commandeered long ago and have occupied these years. Deep in your books, analytical mind, you sit your back to the room, your CD player winking to the beat, your orange cat sprawled on her back beside you on the table, soaking up heat from the burning lamp. Already you were taking on the luminous transparency of the leaving. You hug more quickly and with your jacket on. You tell your stories still, but beyond me, you are glancing at the door. Already the cat who sleeps with you is puzzling over something new in the air, burrowing back into your unsettling scent. And I, alone in the car and feeling fine, suddenly cry, suddenly sob, because soon there will be no chance of passing you on the road in your silver truck. And soon, when I walk into the house, your blue room will boom its silence, its emptiness into every room, and echo down to me, find me standing in sunlight, your soft cat in my arms, my face buried in her winter coat. Spring break. Waiting for her in the airport, standing in the throng below the escalator, watching arriving passengers descend, I fall into a reverie. Week 3, her father's chemo, and for a minute I disappear. And when I come to, she is tapping my shoulder, her whole face smiling, her long hair swinging across her eyes. Her backpack on her strong shoulders, she bends to me, smelling the way she does of fruit and hot sun, and a weight inside me shifts. I reach out for her. Something black lifts and floats away. For 13 days, even if her goings are more than her comings, even if I close my lips firmly on the mouthful of fear, I'll open my windows to let in all her shine, Her voice will roll pleasantly over me, bathing me in long stories, laughter, music from another room. Katie's home, and all the lights are on at my house. Just do a few more. This one is Chance's mother's. That night at my mother's small apartment, I'd been tossing all night on the narrow daybed in the alcove room. She came to the doorway in her blue nightgown, asked if I was all right. I can't sleep, I said, sitting up. Would you, she asked tentatively, almost politely, would you like to lie down on my bed, on one side of my bed? She carefully chose her words, did not say beside me or with me. Quickly, before I thought or felt what I wish now I'd thought or felt, oh no, I said, no, I'll be fine. She backed away. Okay, she said, turning to her room. And she was gone, and there never came another chance to lie beside my mother in this life. Waiting to be a grandmother for Beth. Hundreds of miles from here, she lies laboring, groggy and weak, from 3 hours of pushing against the fuzzy, shapeless thing that will not come. Somewhere down there, a baby waits, while a muffled train roars against her backbone, wailing its need to pass. My son's voice on his cell phone, ebullient and confident at 9 this morning, sounds strained and exhausted at 3. The rain moves up the canyon, hovers black on the hillside. Within this daughter-in-law, sacred as an uncut book, closed eyes, red lipstick, scarred mouth, the tenderest girl calls out for drugs. Some help for the baby riding on choppy seas, a lone voyager in a solid boat, heavy fog. Come rain, let this child be given. Let this girl fall back in warm blankets with no memory of pain. Let time speed and this brave job be done. Well done. Come rain. I think 2 more. I've lost track of the time. I think I may have gone long. Sorry about that. Sunday morning. You lie between us, a Skylar sandwich. And I tell you how I saw the moon so full last night like a silver peach hanging in the black, black sky. And you want to see the moon. You want to see. And you scuttle across the sheets and Grandpa rolls over, holds your hands, dangles you down along your tummy till your feet meet the floor. And you pad quickly to the door in your sleeper with pink octopuses on this Sunday morning, disappointed to find no moon, only new washed blue, and we try to explain, how the moon and the sun are not usually out together, one in the day, the other at night, and we get carried away with the grandeur of the cosmos. Say too much, and you lose the thread. Reply that your mousse is soft and that you need a bath, and so we let it go and move along. A very good lesson for us all. I think I'll make this one my last one. Waiting for my daughter's baby, week 36. In Ljubljana, half asleep, Kate listens to the heartbeat of Matej curled beside her on the mattress in the heavy orb of her belly, like a swollen seed inside a gourd. Head down, he's pressed against the round door to the passageway out into the loud and glaring air. But now he knows only the red dark, the muffled thump of his mother's metronome, the liquid shushing around and in him, her rumble tune as she speaks quietly to the darker, deeper voice nearby, wails under the sea, sending their enigmatic songs across the miles. Here in California, half asleep, I am receiving the sound waves from her heart, made once of my very cells, blood, and tissues, imagining his little song, his knee and knuckle dance when he presses his way down, the pink opening of faces, and they begin his inexorable journey. Thank you so much.